Hey guys, welcome to the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. So today's video talk is about Bigfoot living in close proximity to people. Here in Lower Michigan, there's no dense wilderness, no mountain ranges or anything like that. So, they're on the fringes of people's backyards, on the farmlands, just outside the cities. They're very close, and they're thriving pretty well. Sounded like something got thrown, but anyways, they seem to be thriving. There's no doesn't seem to be a lack of sightings. There's definitely multiple sightings each and every year in close proximity to people's houses, outside the cities or in the cities. So I don't think that here in Michigan, population of people affects them too much. At nighttime, of course, everything switches over, and they can traverse the landscape no problem. Majority of people are sleeping and in bed by 10, so they have full reign throughout the night to hunt and traverse and get to new areas. So it's no wonder that they get away, bug. They can thrive in these habitats because they spend all night going in places, and then during the day they hide out in spots where and they know these spots. These are spots where people don't go because they observe it over generations. They try to find the best spots and property where people don't go, in the backwoods. Maybe an old lady's cabin or house or whatever it is. They find it, and they know that her grandson comes out every hunt season, hunts for 2 weeks. Other than that, no one's in the woods. It's a perfect prime spot for them to be on. Always know that it's there for refuge or whatever. They utilize and find these spots. So living in close proximity to humans is not hard, because most people don't even believe in Bigfoot, and they definitely don't think it's in their backyard. It's some remote mountaintop there over in the Pacific Northwest or the Himalayas. So it's funny, but Sasquatches are actually very close. They cross the roadways. They cross the interstates. They find tunnels where the creeks go under. They cross over it when there's no traffic. I mean, certain spots, it's not that hard. At certain times at night, you can time it right. It's not too hard. So it's no wonder why there's so many sightings here in Lower Michigan, in places where one would not expect Sasquatch to be. But the fact is that they are here in Lower Michigan and in other states, in close proximity to cities, and most of the time people's houses out in the countryside. So another easy reason why Sasquatch are thriving around civilization and people is because people have in their houses, they don't live outside anymore. That we're not outside at night. We don't have to gather wood or do anything like that. I don't have to scour the forest for food anymore at night, and Sasquatch does. So they roam the night, we don't. And I mean, heck, you can even do an experiment yourself. Just go outside and have one of your family members inside watching TV, and just window peek at them, and see if they can see you. See if they can look outside and see you. You can easily creep up on a house and watch them just like a Sasquatch does, and never be seen. And it's a skill set that they practice every single day, all the time, and we people, we don't even keep watch most of the time of what's outside the house, when we're watching our favorite TV program. We don't have that worry about predators and all that. So we're very comfortable in our own yards and property and houses, and at nighttime, you know, we relax. Sasquatch comes in, gets its entertainment, and it's just one of those things where they own the night and we basically don't. Alright guys, so this is what I'm talking about. You have this lush, beautiful habitat, and it's just outside the city. It's between people's houses, but you have a prime habitat where people are not going to be going into unless they're hunting, which is only a select time throughout the year, once a year, you know. So this is a prime spot, especially at nighttime. No one's going in there. Okay, so you could easily traverse this and cross and keep going and going and just go in between people's houses, and you can find other special spots like this. And this is how they're thriving here in Lower Michigan and in other states where they don't have remote wildernesses to run and hide for miles and miles and miles. You know, they are thriving in a different way. So they're surviving and using different techniques than those on the wilderness mountaintops. And I think you might have an easier time finding them around here and interacting because they're already so close and used to humans and watching us all the time. So they're getting to know humans a lot more than the Sasquatch that are, you know, on the mountaintops. They only see humans every once in a while, you know, once or twice, 3 times, 4 times a year. These Sasquatches are next to people 24/7. They watch people probably every day, all the time. You know, these groups are used to human activity, and they find the spots, especially when they find the spots that are able to hold them, and the properties and people around them make sure it's safe. You know, they don't want to, I'm sure, be next to a person who's all crazy and shooting guns and just gonna like shoot at them. I'm sure they want to find property that's has people that are a bit, you know, nice and just better suited for how they want to live, you know. So they're gonna find those spots, they're gonna study those people, and because of that, you might be able to have better interactions because they've already been studying people. They know how people act. I'm sure they know how to read expressions, and you know, if you start trying to interact with them down here, they're gonna pretty much, I think, be more receptive on a better level than ones on a remote mountaintop. Yes and no. I guess they're all different. Curiosity is a big factor, but they can't go to the other side of the mountaintop, where like 50 miles away, as easily. So you should be able to have a better time, easier time interacting with a group in a place like this than a mountaintop, because just you're finding a needle in a haystack literally on the mountaintop, whereas in places like this where there's people and there's diverse habitat, you know, you can narrow it in pretty good and dial it into the areas and have much greater chance to finding these creatures than, say, in these remote wild places, even though they have them, and they have, you know, who knows what. They thrive around people, and that's what they are doing here in Lower Michigan. I've had many encounters in places that, you know, look like this. House right there, house right there. I mean, honestly, this could be anywhere in America, and Sasquatches are here.